In the cold silence of the night, the crackling embers of our dying campfire cast long, dancing shadows that seemed to whisper ancient tales of the woods. The haunting hoots of an owl echoed through the dense forest, creating an eerie symphony that sent shivers down my spine. Little did I know that our camping trip would morph into a twisted nightmare, weaving a chilling tapestry of fear and dread. It all began with the unnerving sensation of being watched. As I sat huddled with my friends around the flickering flames, an invisible presence lurked in the darkness beyond the reach of the firelight. The forest, once tranquil and inviting, now concealed secrets that clawed at the edges of our sanity. "Did you hear that?" Sarah's voice trembled as she clutched her jacket tighter. I dismissed it as the nocturnal orchestra of the wilderness, but unease hung in the air like a thick fog. The wood seemed to pulsate with a malevolent energy, and a subtle dread began to gnaw at the edges of our camaraderie. The fire crackled and sputtered, casting grotesque shapes on the gnarled trees that surrounded our campsite. A distant howl pierced the stillness, setting the stage for the horror that was about to unfold. Little did we know that our fate had already been sealed by the unseen forces that roamed the ancient woods. As the night wore on, the temperature plummeted, and an ominous fog rolled in, enveloping our campsite in a ghostly embrace. The once familiar trail leading back to civilization vanished into an impenetrable wall of mist. Panic simmered beneath the surface as we realized that we were trapped in a sinister realm that defied reason. Attempting to dispel the mounting tension, I suggested telling ghost stories. It was a feeble attempt to divert our minds from the encroaching darkness, but little did I know that our own narrative of horror was already being written by forces beyond our understanding. With each passing tale, the forest seemed to react, its ancient trees leaning in to listen, and the shadows dancing with a malevolent glee. The air became charged with an otherworldly energy that crackled like electricity, and a sense of impending doom settled over us like a suffocating shroud. That's when we heard it. A distant guttural growl that resonated with a primal menace. The fire, once a beacon of warmth and security, now betrayed us by casting long shadows that seemed to move with a life of their own. Fear painted itself on our faces as we scanned the darkness, our feeble flashlights cutting through the fog like weak beacons of hope. The forest had come alive with unseen horrors, and the very ground beneath our feet seemed to pulse with an ancient heartbeat. We stumbled through the fog, our senses heightened and our nerves frayed, desperately searching for an escape from the nightmare that had swallowed us whole. As we pressed deeper into the woods, a sinister force toyed with our senses. Shadows danced on the periphery of our vision, and strange whispers echoed in the wind. Unearthly figures darted between the trees, always just out of reach, leaving us questioning the boundaries of reality. And then we saw it, a dilapidated cabin, standing alone in a moonlit clearing. The air around it seemed to hum with an unnatural energy. Desperation forced us to seek refuge within its decaying walls. But as we crossed the threshold, an overwhelming sense of foreboding settled over us. The interior of the cabin was frozen in time, with cobwebs hanging like spectral tapestries, and a thick layer of dust covering every surface. As we explored the desolate rooms, we uncovered remnants of a dark past, faded photographs of faces long forgotten, and an old journal that chronicled the madness that had consumed those who sought refuge within these walls. The final entry sent a chill down our spines, a desperate plea for escape from an entity that defied description, a malevolent force that fed on fear and despair. It became clear that we were not alone. Something unholy dwelled within the cabin, and our presence had awakened it from its centuries-old slumber. As the night wore on, the cabin seemed to warp and twist, its walls closing in on us like a malevolent entity. Whispers echoed through the decaying halls, and shadows danced in macabre celebration. Fear, palpable and oppressive, gripped us in its icy claws. With each passing moment, the line between reality and nightmare blurred, and the malevolent force that dwelled within the cabin toyed with our sanity. The air resonated with anguished screams and ghostly apparitions, as the horror of the ancient woods consumed us whole. In the cold silence of the night, our screams joined the haunting chorus of the forest, a symphony of terror that echoed through the ages. The woods, ancient and inscrutable, swallowed our cries, leaving only the chilling echoes of a freaky true camping horror story etched into the fabric of the haunted wilderness.